Aloha, Scott Sylvan Bell coming to you live from Maui. I'm in Ka'anapali. Got some outriggers right behind me. Thought it'd be a perfect day to talk about sales training. It's May 18th, 2016, 9:30 in the morning. And I want to share something with you. It's kind of an overcast day, by the way. When you sell from a standpoint of fear, you're going to lose every time. Now, I'm in the forums, which is like the perfect place to understand where salespeople have a lot of struggles coming from. And this guy gets on and he starts talking about how, like, you know, if buyers come in and they ask a lot of questions and they're not going to buy now, that he really doesn't want to help them out. And so there is a problem with people who believe themselves to be one-sit closers sometimes, okay? Sometimes. And what this came down to is he really thought that if the people didn't want to buy right now, it wasn't worth his time to give them any sort of effort. So he went in there and he gave some, like, all sorts of analogies and statistics. He said, like, you know, what if you had a restaurant and somebody came in and they wanted to sample your food, and then they did a couple of samples and then they got up and left, right? And they're like, it was like you're comparing the wrong things. That's not how it works. But he was like, you know, when people come in and they want to test drive a car, if they're not serious about buying, I really don't want to sell them one. And I'm like, man, it's your job, just like it's my job, to make whatever I have, whatever information I have, important, just like it was for him. And so there is an inherent problem with some people who believe they're one-sit closers, because what happens is they don't put enough effort for all the other people in, and so they walk away from a good amount of business. They walk away from somebody who really would have bought from them. They walk away from somebody who could have had a conversation. He's selling out of fear. And I'm gonna say that, you know, at that point, he's not a salesman, he's an order taker, because he doesn't want to go put in the time and effort. So first off, when it comes to sales, the first thing you have to think of is service, right? There is a certain amount of service that has to be put in. And I gotta admit, at some point in my life, I fell into this trap too, right? I'm not just pointing fingers, I'm pointing them all right back at me. And I had this struggle, and what happened was my sales went down and I lost a bunch of income. Because, you know, in my mind, I really didn't want to help people. I really didn't want to answer questions if they weren't serious about buying. And I was, you know, selling from a standpoint of fear, and I was leaving tons of money on the table. I was leaving tons. Now here's the thing, your buyer can feel your intentions. They can feel what you have going on if you really don't want to help them. And it creates a lot of challenges, because if they start feeling that, they're like, well, why would I pay this guy to help me if he really doesn't want to help me? This is going to create a challenge for me. I really don't want to give this guy money. I really don't want to help him out because he doesn't want to help me. Now, I get it. There's some different styles out there. I've studied Sandler. I've studied just about every type there is, where, you know, you talk about it's the buyer's problem. And yes, I do get that, and I do understand to, like, a certain extent. It is the buyer's problem, but at the same time, it's also your job and my job as the salesperson to be a guide to help them figure out what they need, okay? So I gotta share this with you. If you're selling from a standpoint of fear, you are going to lose a lot of deals. You are going to lose a lot. Yes, there's gonna be people who come in and they're gonna take advantage of the information that you give. And then there's gonna be people who leave on that. But if you got really good questions and you've got really good game when it comes to sales, I'm gonna say game kind of like it's a dating theory, that you got really good game, then you really have got nothing to worry about. But if you don't have good closing skills and you're not good at what you do, I can understand where this fear would come from, and I can understand why it would create some challenges, some problems. So if this is you and you're selling from a standpoint of fear, find out, ask more questions. Typically what I've found from coaching people from 5-6 years now is when somebody's struggling as a salesperson, it's in their questioning process. It's in their discovery process that they're not doing enough work. They're just running in as fast as possible, asking a bunch of questions. They're not making it interactive. They're not digging in. They're not going deep. I was working with a guy 2 weeks ago and he called me yesterday. He's like, Scott, I closed 2 out of 2. And I was excited for him because he was really struggling. He was having this problem. He was running in, he was trying to close sales as fast as possible, and he was losing deals to competition that he shouldn't have been losing them to, okay? So there you go, Pat, I'm helping you out. So here's the thing, if you sell from a standpoint of fear, you are going to have struggles, it's not going to stop, and you're gonna lose deals to other people that you shouldn't, okay? So take some time with a buyer, and yes, you know, I get it. There's nothing worse than spending a whole bunch of time with somebody and then they don't end up buying from you and you never hear back from them. Even if you follow up, even if you call, even if you email, I get that. I've been there, right? Hi, my name's Scott. I've been selling for quite a long time. That's happened to me too. I don't close every call that I go to. I do everything I can to close every one of them. I don't give up on leads, right? Put me with the decision maker. I'm gonna do something to sell it. That's the mindset you gotta have, okay? But if you sell out of a position of fear, oh my goodness, you are gonna have a tough time. It's gonna be painful, it's gonna hurt. And a lot of that cynicism comes from a lot of calls walking out on you, and a lot of that comes from you, like, and me, hey, I've done this too, not doing enough work up front. Creates a lot of challenges for you, okay? Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that'd be fantastic. To the right, to the left, there's a subscribe button. You know what you gotta do, you gotta subscribe. And then you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Well, I don't even link it. So here's what I'll do is I'll grab you some videos so you can check out, like look at this. Look at this. You got people out there on the outriggers. There's some guys doing some stand-up paddleboard. You got people walking around on the beach. I'm on an overcast day. The video's not perfect, but you know what? The message is. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.